In the very beginning, a magnificent garden blossomed, a place of pure joy and endless wonder. God, in his infinite wisdom, created this paradise called Eden, a perfect home for his most special creations. He formed Adam, a strong and thoughtful man from the dust of the earth, breathing life into him. Adam's eyes sparkled with curiosity as he gazed upon the vibrant world around him, filled with lush plants and playful animals. God saw that Adam needed a companion, someone to share in the beauty and wonder of Eden. So he gently put Adam into a deep sleep, and from his rib fashioned Eve, a woman of grace and beauty. Eve's long hair flowed like a river, and her smile was as radiant as the morning sun. Together, Adam and Eve walked hand in hand through Eden, their hearts filled with love and gratitude for their Creator. Every day was an adventure. They named the animals, laughed with the chirping birds, and explored every corner of their glorious home. God often walked with them in the cool of the day, sharing his wisdom and love. In the center of the garden stood two very special trees, the tree of life, offering eternal existence, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, whose fruit God had specifically commanded them not to eat. You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, God had lovingly instructed them. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. Adam and Eve understood. They trusted God and enjoyed the abundance of every other fruit, relishing in the freedom and beauty he had given them. One day, as Eve wandered near the forbidden tree, a cunning serpent slithered closer, its voice smooth and deceptive. It whispered, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God said, 'You must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" The serpent chuckled, a dry rustling sound. "You will not certainly die, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, glistening, and seemed so desirable for gaining wisdom. Her heart pounded with a new curiosity, a longing to know what God knew. She reached out her hand, her fingers trembling slightly. The serpent watched with a sly grin. With a gulp, she took a bite of the forbidden fruit, its sweet taste turning bitter on her tongue. A strange sensation washed over her. Instead of feeling wiser, a wave of shame and unease swept through her. Her innocence began to fade, replaced by a new, confusing awareness. She then found Adam and offered him the fruit. His eyes, usually so clear and trusting, now held a hint of apprehension. He saw the change in Eve, the new look in her eyes. Adam loved Eve deeply, and in that moment he made a choice. He took the fruit from her hand, a profound silence falling between them, and he too took a bite. Immediately their eyes were opened, not to divine wisdom, but to their own nakedness. A sudden, overwhelming sense of shame consumed them. They had never felt this before. Frantically, they gathered fig leaves and stitched them together to cover themselves, hiding from each other and from the purity they once knew. The light around them seemed to dim, and the vibrant colors of Eden dulled. As the day cooled, Adam and Eve heard the familiar sound of God walking in the garden. But this time, instead of running to greet him, they hid among the trees, their hearts heavy with fear. "Adam, where are you?" God's voice, usually so comforting, now seemed to echo with a gentle sadness. He knew what had happened, yet he called out, giving them a chance to respond. Adam's voice trembled as he replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam, burdened by his choice, blamed Eve. "The woman you put here with me. She gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Then God turned to Eve. "What is this you have done?" Eve, in turn, blamed the serpent. The serpent deceived me, and I ate. The consequences of their choice were great. God spoke of sorrow, hardship, and a world that would now be filled with thorns and thistles. They would have to work hard for their food. He also declared that Eve would experience pain in childbirth, and Adam would rule over her. Life would no longer be effortless and perfect. But even in this difficult moment, God's boundless love shone through. He made garments of animal skins for Adam and Eve, covering their shame with his own provision. He then said, "The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat, and live forever." So, with heavy hearts and a world forever changed, Adam and Eve were sent out of the Garden of Eden. An angel with a flaming sword guarded the way back to the tree of life. They stepped into a new world, one where choices had consequences, where toil and struggle were now a part of life. The path ahead was uncertain, but God's grace was still with them. Though they had made a choice that changed everything, God's love did not abandon them. He covered their shame and provided for them, reminding us that even when we stumble, His grace is always there.